Will I get a job in PM field as an intern or a full-time employee? Welcome to my channel. My name is Vasanta Tiwangan and I'm covering everything related to product. So recently I got this question from a subscriber. He had three questions exactly. His first question was that he did a course in Udemy and then he has not done anything technical, but he wanted to know like if he can get a job as an intern or as a full-time employee in the PM field. His second question was, I'm just reading it, like what kind of project to build, whether it should be more technical stuff like app or like something else, and he doesn't know coding at all. So he wanted me to share the portfolio. And the third question was like, does he need actual users or can he build something without any users? So I'm going to answer all his questions, but first let me start with the second question because this person doesn't have any knowledge in the PM field. And to start with a PM job, you need to build something, you need to show something. So he said what kind of projects to build, whether it should be more technical stuff like an app. I would say yes, you need to just go ahead and build an application. Any application that you're going to build, it is going to be technical. No matter what you do, you cannot build anything that will not have few lines of code or anything, right? Treat it as your baby. So three things that you can do when you are building an application is now you have access to ChatGPT. So you can ask ChatGPT some questions regarding the problems. For example, what type of problem is prevalent in your area or in your city or in your country, right? Then, if you like any of those problems, then dive into it because that problem can have multiple solutions. But the solutions that you are going to build is something that the app will be going to offer to the customer. So you always start with the problem first and then you dive into the application and the solution, like how it should be. And now when you are doing that, you might need to understand like 2-3 features that you are going to provide. It's just very basic. So let's take an example of a problem that I was having. I was talking to my dad and he was really interested in like, how should I solve this problem where I'm a consultant at the university, I distribute papers, and then there are students who come to us asking a lot of questions like, when my result will come, or if they need to transfer their university from one university, how that will be resolved. So there were so many problems that he was telling me and he wanted just one solution. And I was like, hold on, Papa, because, you just give me one problem, which like many students are asking for. So the problem was very simple. It was like he wanted to create a online way of delivering these certificates to the students, because the application of like requiring some type of certificate, let's say a transfer certificate, was online, like you just fill the form, but when delivering it, the student have to come physically and collect it. So I said it's very simple. You need to make sure that when you are building this type of certificate, you have a website where you can do it securely. You need a stamp, you need a signature, all digitally, and then you keep a way where you can securely keep this certificate for the student account. One way is either you email the user, the student, or the second way is you might have account for the alumni and then you just upload it over there as a new folder. So he was like, this is so simple. And this is how a product manager thinks, right? Like they have a problem, they understand the solution, and they build a feature around it. Nothing fancy, nothing great, nothing like a lot of coding, but just simple solution which solves the issues that the customers or your users are having. So this is how you need to build the app. I've given you one example. So make sure you understand the problem really well, and then bang on the problem, elaborate it, and then solve the issue. The second question that Bharat asked was, should I have the actual user? I would say yes, definitely yes, because if you don't have actual users, how would you know your application is doing good? So you don't need to have like actual users, strangers using your application, but what you need to have is like few people who can just give you feedback. So for this, if I wanted to provide the solution to the university example that I took, if I build this, and my critic would be my dad, my papa, because he is the one who is living in this situation. So he can give me feedback like, this is and that. But what I can do more is I can ask papa like, give me student phone number or email address, like 5 people or 10 people, and then let's forward it to them. Let's ask them to do something, request something, and let's test it. How is it working? So you need to make sure like your idea, your application is working really well when you're doing this. Okay, now the third question that you had was, will I get a job as an intern or a full-time employee in the PM field? This is very subjective question, because first you need to have your resume. If you don't have your whole portfolio around like how you acted as a product manager, be it a small project, like that just took you like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to build. But if you can tell the hirer, who is the hiring manager, that there was a problem, you created a solution, and the customers were happy to use it, right? And that is how you become a product manager, as a entry-level product manager, right? So make sure to do all those things to get a job as an intern.